Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fit Coach Academy. We are going to be going over lesson number 5 today. Brittany went over number 6 last week because it was a shorter lesson. And then we have to go over lesson number 5. Let's see what we got here. Share screen. Here, take a look. Where did it go? We are on 5. All right. Okay, lesson number 5. What we are going to go over today's discussion, what it's about. So we've got exercise science. We've got best workout formats that are going to make you a remarkable trainer and coach. You don't want to fall in any type of prototype of what other trainers at gyms do. For the most part, 99% of them suck. They're not remarkable. They don't do anything different. And we have we've created our own non-impact workout, and that is a very remarkable thing. And that's what makes a lot of people be able to use you as a coach and trainer, because you are learning how to actually do all workouts in a non-impact fashion, which is going to be 99% of your clientele. They're going to need it because of back or shoulder or ankle or shin splint injuries or issues. And it's also a way to get someone who hasn't worked out in many years or ever to feel confident enough to actually start working out. Exercises for fat burning, building muscle, cellulite reduction, leaning the abs out, strength improvements, and the best home fitness equipment. Another part of your job is going to be helping clients know what equipment they should buy. Number one, when you're training them on Zoom, there's going to be certain things that they need in order for you to train them on Zoom. We just got off of the Fit Coach meeting just before you, and I'm going to repeat this one more time to all of you about $100,000 a year, and how if you really are going to take this serious, you need to make your goal $100,000 a year and hold yourself to it. A lot of times people will feel that they're not confident enough to actually do it. It's 25 clients get you up to over 6 figures. Typically, your average client pays about $300 a month in products and services, and 25 clients is going to get you in that zone no matter what. So Todd just taught us to just take a notebook, put 25 lines on it, and every single person that became a client, we write their name down, and we would just drive and get it done within 30 to 60 days. And every time we would do it. So you have to hold yourself to a dollar amount. You have to hold yourself to a vision. Now, the thing that would make you not feel confident enough to do that would be you don't know what your client wants. And the main thing that we teach in the academy is you give your client what they want, not what you think that they need. And if you're making the workout revolve around your client, why would they go anywhere else? Number one. Number two, if you make the workout challenging, but what they want to do, but something that they can do, they're going to enjoy the workout. If they tell you they want certain things worked on and you skip those things and work what you think they should do, they're going to tell you to fuck off, as they should. You shouldn't be doing things that they didn't ask you for. If they want to get in a certain kind of shape, it's your job. Get them there. Get them in that kind of shape. So if the music is the music they like, if the workouts are challenging, but the workouts work in the muscles that they want to work because they want to change that part of their body, if the meal plans are doable, which they all are, we test them out on you all and actual real clients on top of that. Well, you guys are real clients too, but just regular average clients, and we get the feedback. And we have practiced the non-impact way of fitness for 20 years. So you're getting something that's already been proven thousands of times. So you have to make your mind up about it. So you give a client what they want, the music's what they want, the workout's what they want. The workout is challenging. If it's not challenging and it's too easy, they'll be like, fuck this, I don't need to pay you. I can do this shit on my own in my basement. So you have to make sure the workouts match that. And the purpose of a coach or a trainer is We give the cheats and the shortcuts and the hacks of how to actually get what you want faster. And so that's a really big part. So most of you who have competed with us and you've been to different shows, you see how some of the athletes there have no coaches and they don't win. We beat them. You get the win the first time you go because that's what that's the benefit of having a coach and a trainer. So you need to have that vibe off of you. And one more thing I want to go over that I talked about to the other coaches right before you is your story. When someone first meets you, I'm just going to use Kelly as an example. No one would believe that Kelly actually was overweight and that she's never walked around as a skinny bitch her whole life. And so that's the story they tell themselves. They're sizing her up. They're saying, well, you don't know what it feels like to be overweight. Well, in actuality, Kelly does. But the only way Kelly's going to be able to make them understand that is if she says, yeah, I've already lost 60 pounds. What? Are you kidding? So when you lose weight, when you get in shape, when you snatch your waist in, when you get your butt bigger as a girl, if you want your butt bigger, and you get on a stage like Dana or whatever, that makes you an authority. And the way to get that authority out is you have to start with the struggle. And so Dana has some issues with health, and she got to talk about those just like I do. Talk about, early family death of your mom or your dad or a sibling or something and how you're trying to do things different. But your struggle is the thing that people need to hear, because if they don't hear a struggle, then they're just going to they're going to sum you up. They're going to say, Rhonda's been a skinny bitch her whole life. No clue. Rhonda's before pictures will drop your jaw to the earth. So she has to be able to get out how much weight. And you talk, especially if you've been pregnant, talk about your fattest weight ever. You talk about your heaviest ever because you lost that weight. Yeah. And so you don't just talk about the last 10 years, the last 2 years. Who gives a fuck about that? Mm-hmm. You talk about at my fattest, I was 210. My God, I've lost 100 pounds. And then I get these women like, oh God. So they had already made a story up, a bullshit about me until they find out I dropped 100. I had ulcerative colitis so bad it almost killed me with colon cancer. I had to work through all that shit. I had horrible upbringing, had to work through all that shit. So I worked through all that kind of stuff in my story. And then they're like, oh, okay, I think I need to pay you. And so your struggle is now they're looking at the after. They're going to be like, clearly you're the authority on this. I'm going to pay you.
And also, if you get into because we're talking about affinity points, we're talking about the things that people will connect with you on. And so really getting into what made you gain that weight. And so with Melinda, for example, ulcerative colitis and having a colon cancer scare, like all of those things were what was happening at her heaviest and contributed to her getting at her heaviest weight. Where my story is, I quit gymnastics unexpectedly. I gained 20 pounds the first month just from not being in exercise anorexia. And then my weight just kept going up from there. I was depressed. I had no clue what to do. My hormones were thrown off. My parents thought I was literally depressed. They literally took me to a therapist because they were like, we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's wrong with her. And they thought, it's got to be emotional. It's got to be depression. And they didn't think she's depressed because she quit gymnastics. They just thought she's depressed. She's eating too much. We don't know what to do. And none of those things were true. But that's how my body responded coming out of exercise anorexia. And then, of course, I was depressed because I was ripping my jeans and I was 16 years old. I was in the middle of high school. Nobody's going to be happy about that. I literally ripped my jeans in the middle of school one day. They were starting to get a hole in the crotch because I was gaining weight that fast and I was too embarrassed to go shopping and I didn't know what to do. And then my best friend was like, Brittany, you have a hole in your jeans. And I was like, no, I know. And she's like, no, it's starting to come around under your ass cheek. Like it's starting to like come around under your butt, like the back of your leg. And I was like, uh-oh. And she was like, here, take my sweatshirt, tie it around your waist. So I walked around for the rest of the day wearing a sweatshirt with an additional sweatshirt tied around my waist because that was my outfit for the day. A sweatshirt and jeans, like trying to cover my shit up as much as possible. Tied another sweatshirt on my waist. Looked like I'd started my period and bled everywhere and was trying to cover it up. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
So my story is I unexpectedly had to quit gymnastics. I was an elite gymnast. And then because my body didn't know how to come out of exercise anorexia, I blew the fuck up and it just kept going from there.
Mhm.
And then no other trainers are telling me walk on the treadmill and do wall sits. So nobody could actually give me proper instructions or proper advice or teach me how to deal with my more muscular body type and my more athletic body type and how to train my body appropriate for my body type. And so I end up training a lot of teenage girls where their moms were clients back in the day and they're going through a similar enough thing. And the number one thing the moms say to me is, my daughter, she quit sport, she's gaining weight, it's affecting her self-esteem. Can I send her to you? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. I have a huge soft spot in my heart for that. I love coaching girls through that because it's not just coaching girls through quitting a sport and gaining weight. It's literally preparing a girl for being a woman and dealing with hormones and a body type that she's going to have for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
So, and I always say to them, I'm like, consider this a blessing that you're not just a skinny bitch in high school that's naturally skinny, because you're going to get smacked in the face when you hit 35 or 40 and shit's not easy anymore.
Yeah.
So this is something that it's actually a blessing in disguise that you have to start working on this younger
Now.
because you're going to be ahead later in life and you're going to keep working at this for the rest of your life. And you're learning at age 16, you're going to have to work on your body and watch what you eat and work out athletically for the rest of your life to look the way you want to look.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
all of that, all of those affinity points, make sure you're saying all of those struggle,
Mhm.
nasty, dark thoughts, dark feelings, all of those things a lot of people try to hide and cover up.
Mhm.
Those are the things that really create connection and create
Mhm.
affinity
Mhm.
and create trust
Mhm.
that you were able to overcome that struggle
Mhm.
and win at this thing.
Yeah.
So if other people are going through anything close, any similar struggle, they're going to connect with you and they're going to say, "Oh my God, what was your secret? Oh my God, what was your hack? What was your life hack? How did you get out of that situation?
Mhm.
How did you overcome that? How did you climb that mountain?"
Yeah.
So all storytelling in American culture is based on struggle, overcoming,
Mhm.
climbing the mountain, getting to the top victorious.
Mhm.
So that is the way
Yeah.
that we're all telling our stories about our bodies, because all of us have something, even if it's you were underweight and you gained weight.
Yeah. So an example
Everybody
of
has
that
a
would be
struggle
Heather.
and overcoming.
Yeah. So Heather was 100 pounds and now she wants to get to 165. She wants to compete in powerlifting at 165. So she's been on this journey to gain up to 165. She's
Mhm.
tall, she's muscular, she's built, and it's going to be all muscle. But yeah, even going the other way.
Yeah.
So being underweight and having to gain weight is a really big deal as well. Again, people are going to sum you up. If you keep your mouth shut,
Yeah.
they're going to sum you up and say you've been a skinny bitch your whole life. That is not the route to authority.
Or you were athletic and worked out your whole life. When I tell them I quit gymnastics and gained 20 pounds in a month and then just kept going up from there, shooting up from there, they're like, "Oh my God." Because the first thing they want to say on me, because I look athletic and lean, is, "Oh, well, you've worked out your whole life. You've always been an athlete." I'm like, "Well, let me tell you about when I wasn't. Let me tell you what happened when
Yeah.
shit went south."
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you'll see what people stereotype about you,
Yeah.
and you'll see where most people try to go with it. And then you'll start to learn, okay, they're going to go here. Let me just cut them off.
Yep.
And let me just say the story.
Yep, exactly. So your story of struggle is going to be the biggest thing. That's the marketing that's going to go behind you. That's the thing that has to be said over and over and over. Well, I was just 60 pounds overweight last year. What? I was just 100 pounds over a year and a half ago. What? Oh my God. So,
But that's what you're selling. Like if
Yeah.
when you hear it that way, even when you hear it about yourself, when you start to tell your own story in that manner, you say, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
that is a really big deal." Like
Yeah.
you gotta talk your own shit up here. You gotta talk yourself up. Like, I'm a badass bitch. I lost 65 pounds
Yeah.
last year. Like that is badass.
It is.
I got ready for a powerlifting meet. I set state national records. That's a big deal.
yeah.
So it's like whatever your story is, that is own it. Like own it. That's a big deal. That's what you're selling.
Yeah, but most people, especially middle class people, they will think that they're just flossing or they're being conceited. And the best way around that is talk about your struggle. And so
Absolutely.
you don't have to talk about you're a badass now. Just talk about everything you overcame, and they're going to see the badass right when they're looking at you anyway.
You show you're a badass by what
have
you
to
overcame.
talk about your struggle, and it's easy to do, and it just is so inspiring. And the rags to riches story is rags, the shit part of the story, to the riches, a transformation, weight loss, losing weight, competing and winning trophies, getting on a stage and being Miss Ohio. That's the richest part. Don't let them just see the richest part. You absolutely must paint the picture about the raddest part. Okay. All right. So let's go on to the next page here. We're going to get into the first page. My page number at 3. There's 2. All right. There we go. All right. So basic weight training workout session format template, active warm up, 3 to 15 minutes, depending on the length of the workout. The largest muscles are worked out first. Why? You work out the largest muscles first because they support everything. And so you want to actually work them out first. You don't want to work your small muscles because they're needed to support the large muscles when you're working. The biggest muscles of the body, your quads and butt, going on to the hamstring, the hip, then your chest is next biggest, your lats and your back, shoulders, triceps, biceps, then you finish off calves and abs.
So you'll notice in our non-impact boot camp workouts, for example, starting out with the step ups, getting some push-ups in, some chest press, a lot of squats, a lot of stiff legs, RDLs, things like that, getting those big muscle groups, might add a compound movement, RDL overhead press together. So we are doing our workout and boot camp in that manner, finishing up. If there's going to be some bicep curls or triceps, they're going to be down on the 4th or 5th of 5 as far as our supersets. So look through this, but always be thinking back to the workouts that we do so you actually can understand this and take it in.
Yeah, exactly. The average number of sets per muscle group 3, average reps are 8 to 15, unless you're a power lifter. Average reps per set for your abs are 15 to 25. Average rest between 30 seconds to a minute, sometimes no rest at all.
Mm-hmm.
You get your own rest when you grab a drink of water. So, but for the most part, we're not going to give you that much rest. If you start giving too long a rest, except for powerlifting, of course, you start giving too long a rest, they start to sum up, I can do this shit at home. This is too easy.
Yeah.
So,
and people don't understand rest. Plus, when people come in, for the most part, not athletes, they don't understand rest. They understand they ate too much yesterday and they're paying you for 30 minutes or 60 minutes today.
Yeah.
So they understand, I ate Taco Bell yesterday and I have anxiety about it. I have anxiety about being fat, and anxiety wants to move.
Uh-huh.
So you'll see, and we'll talk about this, the way that we superset and giant set exercises, it just keeps them moving.
Yep.
People will automatically grab a drink, chit chat a little too much.
Yep.
Usually in workouts, as you can see from our boot camp here, the goal is to keep people moving because they will naturally talk and take their own little breaks and cause rest to happen inadvertently. So for the most part, you don't need to plan rest in unless you're actually doing an on-purpose powerlifting workout with a Power Fit client.
Absolutely. Exactly. And that's what supersets and giant sets do. So superset, even a circuit. If I set up 5 exercises, I go, you're going through this 5 times, 5 sets of 8. I tell them all 5 things. Now move. And then again, like Brittany said, she can chit chat all you want. Most of the time they can't breathe, but just have them moving nonstop because
I'm like,
that's
squat and
what's going to
talk,
calm the
squat and
anxiety
talk,
down.
squat and talk. If you want to tell me a story, keep moving. Okay, come over here. Okay, continue your story. So again, like I always say in the boot camps, control the situation, control the room, because especially when it comes to one-on-one sessions with VIP clients, you're controlling your cash flow. So if you don't control your talking and your conversation and they're talking in the session, then they're going to be like, that wasn't worth my money.
Yeah, exactly. So that will impact your cash flow immediately. All right. So the big five major muscle groups of the body. There are more than 600 muscles in the body. So when they say if a human can activate all 600 muscles, we can move 25 tons. That's how powerful a human body could be. But you have to have your mind, your emotions, all that kind of shit. But a mom can lift a car off of her baby. It's just been proven nonstop. It's the only tissue in the body that I can't even see this.
We did not design
that can
this
contract and move the other body parts. About 40% of your body weight is made up of muscle tissue. So 40% of the body's muscle tissue. These muscles are used for locomotion first and foremost, but also for achieving complex and impressive moves and burning fat at rest. So the reason that men burn more weight quicker, they burn weight at a 30% faster rate than a female, is because they're sitting there with 30% more lean body mass than 99% of females have. So when we burn fat at rest, men are like a furnace at night. They have 30% more muscle. They're burning 30% more fat when they're sleeping than a female is. When a female starts weight training, she starts to burn more body fat because she has more muscle when she sleeps. So when you have cold hands and feet, it is a lack of muscle. It is vital to know the major muscle groups, especially for improving your body. It prevents injuries, improves your posture. You can read the rest of that on your own. I don't need to read all this shit to you like this. You read those details. 5 major muscle groups. The first one, the chest muscles. So all of these muscles in the chest, again, you can look through all of these. They always show this in personal trainer certifications, and you never get tested on it. But just so you know, pec major, pec minor, those are the most important one. The purpose of chest muscle is pushing. And so anytime someone says, I hurt myself, I think I hurt my pec, if you just ask them to either bench or do a push-up and they're like, ow, that hurts, then there's probably a tear in one of the pushing muscle fibers, which are in the chest. So now you say, well, I'm going to have to move the workout to legs or to pulling muscles, not pushing muscles. So that's why you really want to know front of the body is all pushing muscles, back of your body is all pulling muscles. So if someone injured something, you would want to stay off that side of the body. So that's the main thing that I do. A very easy way to avoid training them if they're hurt somewhere on their body.
If you hear about workouts being split up into a push and a pull day, that's a day where it's mostly chest, all pushing exercises versus a lot more lats and back pull exercises.
All right, next one. We got 2, the back muscles. So the back is a big deal. I do want to show you here, some of you that I have trained for years, and some people get scared of the deadlift. Some people get scared of hurting themselves on a stiff leg and stuff like that. If you look right here, this is the spine, and the way the lats come off of the spine, the lat muscles start down here at the tailbone area, and then they just swoop around over to the sides. And then along the spine is the erector spinae muscle. That muscle is made just for going forward and backward. That's all it does. And so usually when people injure their back, so it's like, well, I hurt my back. Well, what the fuck are you talking about? Where are you hurt at? So you're hurt down here in your lat. You hurt over here in your obliques. Where are you hurt at? Well, they're pretty much, the erector spinae muscles, these muscle fibers all along the spine, are meant to only do this. When people usually injure their back, they took a muscle that's supposed to do this and they twisted sideways, picked up something heavy, and came back to this plane. This muscle is only meant to do this, and that's all it's meant for. So you would never want to put an exercise together where you had someone stand with their feet straight, twist to the side, pick up something heavy, and bring it back. That would be very stupid. This muscle is only meant to do this. So when they injure themselves, they take these muscles, they twist them with their feet straight, pick something up, and come up. And sure enough, they've done something down in their lat muscles down here, or erector spinae, and most likely one of the vertebrae has twisted and they need to go to the chiropractor. So that's typically what causes the nerve pain that will shoot down the ass and down the leg into the heel and calf and all that. So it's one of these lower vertebrae touching a nerve. They're supposed to be nice and straight and spaced out really well. And so the back muscle is a very big, important muscle that you will have to explain a million times. So you need to make sure your clients know, no, this exercise is going to make you tight down here because we're going heavy on your deadlift, but just tightness just means those muscle fibers are growing. They're filling up with fluid. They're going to heal stronger. I didn't make you do anything that was going to injure these muscles. I just had you squat your butt down and stand back up straight. Down and up straight. I didn't tell you to twist from side to side. I needed to know a lot of this because I thought, oh my fucking God, he's going to break my back. This weight's so heavy. I didn't know better until I understood the actual kinesiology of the body. So look at these muscles. They'll make you feel a lot more power when you're training yourself and when you're actually training your client, that you can keep your client safe.
And all those muscles in your low back and all those little muscles in there, if you don't on purpose work them, strong back. And so this is something that I have to talk people through all the time, where I say, I'm not giving you something that's too heavy because I'm not. So don't give people something that's too heavy. You never, ever, 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 ever want to have a little practice powerlifting contest with somebody who's a beginner, because you need to have respect for your body and all the little muscles, especially in your back. Because if you think about how many times we're leaning forward at the computer, leaning forward. All of those little muscles are overstretched. They're stretched forward. They're never being engaged. They're not being used. And since I've been powerlifting for years, but in training for powerlifting meet this past spring, training over 30 women for this powerlifting meets this past year. And then even what I've been getting into more with my personal track training and how all these low back muscles are connected into your hips. There's so many little muscles that are underused. And when something hurts, it's because they're not getting there. It's like a baby screaming. They're not getting the time and attention and love and care and work that they actually need to do their job. And so this is something that since I've been an athlete my whole life, except for the period where I quit and got fat, when I started getting into weight training and getting into athletic training, I've been doing it pretty much for the past 20 years straight. And so this is something where I thought, well, I work out. I was an athlete. I'm just going to keep doing some exercises and my whole body's just going to stay strong. And it doesn't need any extra work or support or tune-ups or anything like that. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So after sustaining little injuries over years that were completely avoidable, I now have a much better understanding of a adult, meaning not 16 years old, meaning you're going to be sore, you need recovery. But also when I think back to, because people all the time say, well, I mean, I'm not in high school or college anymore, or, you know, I'm not whatever anymore. Really think about what that means, because I'm personally in way better shape than I ever was through my high school or college years. And I'm way, way, way fucking stronger than I was during those years. And I can lift a lot heavier weight now than I could all of those years, because my muscles have had that much more time to grow and develop and respond to being put under stress. So the more advanced you get and the more elite you get in your training, no matter what kind of athlete you are, the more you need to respect your body, work on every little support muscle, go to massage, go to the chiropractor, spend time in the sauna, spend time in Epsom salt baths, use your foam roller, use your massage gun, and actually give your body time to recover. So recovery is not just because you're not 18 anymore. It's not just because you're not in prepubescent or pubescent hormones anymore, and all human growth hormones starts to decrease after age 25. It's not just about a time zone or an age frame. It's because you spent more years being an athlete, advancing, and you are now able to push and assault your body on a higher level. So when I go into the gym and I do a deadlift workout now, I am able to assault my muscles and cause way more mini micro tears than I ever have been able to in my entire life. And therefore, I need to recover, which does mean rest. It does mean recovery like cardio. It does mean a couple days off after a heavy workout. It also means massage gun, getting massages from Chuck, being in the Epsom salt bath, sitting in the sauna. So really have respect for the time and the work you put into being a master and truly being more of an elite athlete as time goes on, not just I'm getting older, therefore I need more recovery time, because I hate when people frame it that way, and that's not true. And that actually made me rebel and say, I'm going to work out hard every fucking day. I'm not going to recover. I'm not going to rest, because fuck age. And it's not even a function of age. It's actually, you're pushing yourself on a higher level as an athlete, and you need to respect that fact, and then give yourself and give your body the support to recover and for your body to get stronger.
Absolutely.
Because your body gets stronger when it repairs. It doesn't get stronger during the workout. It gets stronger while it repairs.
While it repairs. Absolutely. Yeah. The workout doesn't make you stronger. That's where the damage is caused.
Correct.
So you need to know that personally, and professionally, when you're coaching, all right, this 30-minute workout or 60-minute workout, we're going to cause damage. I'm going to make sure that you don't damage something horribly.
Right.
We're going to cause damage to the muscles. Then you're going to go eat your protein and do everything she just said. That's going to cause the repair. So next time you come back to the session, you're stronger. As you see on here, superficial muscles. So a lot of times in the workouts that we give you to do, especially like if you're on the Power Fit team, we're giving you the smaller muscle groups that you're going to train. And then we work on the big stuff. So that's the difference when you are doing your workouts at home versus the workouts with us. Big stuff usually happens with your coach or trainer. Small little thing happens with you if you're doing a an actual competition.
And like I said, they are extremely important to do that homework on your own.
These little
and work
muscles,
those little
they
muscles.
really matter.
Yeah.
So they really, 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 really matter. They support the big guys.
Yeah.
So it's like a mafia. It's like a cartel. You need the soldiers to sell your weed or you're never going to get rich. That's the same shit here. All right.
Okay, you're not getting rich.
Bowling. Well, you're getting rich. Yeah. I mean, good luck on having a bad toe trying to run fast.
Yeah.
A bad big toe. You won't. Yeah, that's what I mean. So you can read about the lats. You can read about the rhomboids, the importance of those major muscles, traps, teres major, muscle, erector spinae, which I told you about. Why did it go there again? I don't know. All right. The arm and shoulder muscles. Again, if someone this is going to be a major area that gets injured. The main cause of injury when it comes to the shoulder is the way people sleep. So I learned that the hard way as well. I love to sleep on my stomach with my arm underneath my pillow. It will fucking destroy your shoulder. You will get shoulder impingement. You get rotator cuff injury. It's nothing you did besides the way you sleep. You also can't sleep with your arm above your head. This shit ends around age 25. So any of you that are younger than 25 or you're at 25, this shit's about to come to a close for you. For you all. Anyway, all the rest of us have already realized, oh my God, my shoulder's killing me when you wake up.
Yeah,
those shoulder muscles are not meant to be flexed while you're sleeping.
Your body's like Gumby until age 25. And then when the human growth hormone stops increasing and it starts naturally decreasing, you're not Gumby anymore.
Nope.
That's all that means.
Yep. That's what it is. So when we sleep at night, the body goes into a mild form of rigor mortis. So you don't act your dreams out and murder people and sleep with 5,000 guys in a night. The mild rigor mortis holds you still. And you don't want to hold this shoulder still for 8 hours. You do not want to hold this shoulder in a flex position. That flex position is what wears the tendons and the muscles out. It will heal. It can heal fast, but you have to stop sleeping that way. Your arms have to be down to your side or laying on your lap or whatever, but they cannot be flexed. So shoulder injury is a very, very common one. And 99.9, it is not from a sport. It is the way they're sleeping. And so, again, nothing will get your client to get off of your books faster than one injury after the next, after the next, after the next. This is why you need to understand the muscles and injuries and the common bullshit that causes them so you can help fix it, move on. You got your biceps, you have your triceps, you have your deltoids. So those are pretty much the arm muscles. They are small and they're typically always kept at the end of the workout because they've got to support the major muscles. Read all that. The ab muscles. So there's quite a bit of ab muscles. A lot of work goes on in the abs. Main thing for the abs is they hold the organs in place. That's the main goal of your abdominals. Visceral fat. I just got asked by 2 clients in Kentucky, what is this visceral fat number on my scale? And they had a very, very high visceral fat. One was 35. One was 24. I have clients that have 1. They have a 1 for visceral fat. Between 1 and 5 is phenomenal, and those abs are going to be really nice. Person doesn't have a lot of fat on the trunk. Visceral fat is the most dangerous fat of all fat. It is fat surrounding the heart, the liver, the spleen, destroys the gallbladder, and then ruins your colon and your intestines. So it is not good to have high trunk fat. I had so much visceral fat, it would hurt to lean over to shave my leg. So I had very high visceral fat, type 3 diabetes. I had blown up over 200 pounds and it just destroyed my trunk. So visceral fat is very dangerous. I pay attention to visceral fat a lot in clients and myself and so forth. So I won't make them do a lot of shit that's going to actually irritate them when they've got a big trunk. I'm not going to be making them do a lot of stuff that aggravates them, just like shaving in the shower was aggravating me. So you need to understand visceral fat is all fat that fills up the trunk area. It is exceedingly dangerous. The best thing about it is the first place the body will drop fat because it is so dangerous. So that's what visceral fat is. You're not supposed to have a score on that ARBO scale over a 12 on visceral fat. So it's got to be in those low numbers. And when people have really, really high numbers, again, very dangerous. Most of the time when I work them out, they're seated and not a lot of bending over. It's just too hard on their, it's too painful. The fat is taking up too much space and it's very hard to bend over. Every fitness enthusiast, you can read about that on your own. Gluteus medius, maximus, serratus anterior, psoas major. The psoas, I'm going to mention that muscle is located right in this zone right here, and it hooks. It's the muscle that hooks the hips and that psoas major, it's a major area of injury. The main cause is sleeping. Again, sleeping with your knees pulled up. Knees cannot be pulled up. When you pull your knees up in the fetal position, or even one leg is straight, and you pull one of them up, you are going to aggravate your psoas and you're going to cramp it. And this is going to cause back. You're going to think you have a back issue like I did, and it was the psoas the whole time. So psoas is going to be a major area you have to watch on yourself and your client. My back is hurting me. All of a sudden, you try to stretch out their psoas, like, ow, ow, ow. It's actually a psoas, and it's actually the way they're sleeping. So you get them to stop sleeping with those knees pulled up. They get some massage, and then the massage therapist works that out, and they should be fine. That is a very big issue that gets a lot of injuries, especially in athletes like gymnasts. All right, leg and glutes. Big muscles, leg and glutes. So hamstrings, glutes, quads, gastrocnemius, and your calf muscle. That is a major set of muscles. It also will win the client. So sometimes a lot of what you do as a coach or a trainer is you got to make the client feel safe the whole time. Why am I so winded? Why can't I breathe in the middle of lunges? Well, your butt is the biggest muscle of the body. It requires a shit ton of oxygen. So that's the main reason why when you work your legs, you're more winded. So just know that. Why do squats wind you? It is a compound move, and it's using your biggest muscle of the body. Why does my back make me so hungry? It's a very large muscle, and it needs a lot of protein to heal. Because you saw how many muscles were in that back itself. Just so many muscles in your back. All right, next thing, practice exercises for each muscle group found in the AMP Up Sports app. The 5 muscle group exercises. So what I will be assigning is I will put the workouts for the 5 muscle group exercises. They'll be in the app for you to work out for the next 10 days. You need to actually know, okay, I'm working out my major muscle group number 1, the chest, number 2, blah, blah, blah. And so those workouts will be in there for you to actually practice on yourself. And so you'll be doing that for the next 10 days. Burning excess body fat and cellulite reduction. Okay, so cellulite, as you can see in this picture right here, typically you won't see this on guys. The main reason that men don't have cellulite is because men's muscle fibers, so muscle fibers are like little spaghetti strands. So spaghetti inside of the actual muscle belly. Well, men have really close fibers, okay? So men have really close fibers like that. Women have fibers that are further apart. And as you can see in that gap right there, that's where fat and water will go. And that's why there's dimples. It's just the fat that's inside that kind of spaced out muscle fiber.
And a softer look. Women don't have a hard, tight muscle look, like that tight fiber look, a very like striated, meaty look.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can tell when women take steroids, they don't have that.
But it still doesn't change her. Yeah. It still doesn't change her muscle fiber. A man's muscle fiber is actually tighter. A female's is actually looser. And that's why a female will get, we'll have females that will have low body fat. They won't even have upper body fat at all. And then you'll still see dimples like this on their ass.
It's not changing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's changing. Even steroids, it doesn't change all the way to be a full man.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, but just there is a genetic, hormonal, biological difference, and it's real. Yeah.
So it is top layer fat. It is fat that's directly under the skin. It can be lost. It's a cold layer of fat. When I've trained girls for bikini shows, physique, and bodybuilding, it's usually the last. It goes away, but then there'll be some deeper layers of that cellulite that goes away at the very, very end before the show. And they're like, oh, good God, thank God it's gone. But it's very cold, and a lot of extra external heat with slimmer belts or the sauna shorts or sauna gear will help warm that area. And they got to lose weight. A big cause of cellulite is wine. Wine causes massive loads of cellulite on the thighs, on the front of the thighs, especially. I've seen it go down into the calves on some bikini competitors until they stop wine. And then I could get the weight off so they could actually go compete. So do understand wine is a grape. Grape is sugar. And the amount that people consume daily is what's making all that cellulite. So
and it's sugar
ain't no way around it.
Mixed with a toxin, which is the alcohol. So your body can't do two things at once. It cannot handle putting something toxic and poisonous into the system and also burn off food and sugar.
Yeah.
So when you have somebody that's consuming alcohol, the body's like, hey, too much of this shit can be poisonous. As soon as you start drinking it, we have to process it and get it out of the system. 911 code red. This is their first priority now. So your body, whenever you're drinking, it has to handle the alcohol and burn off the alcohol. And then whatever you're eating in excess, it's like, we'll deal with that later. We'll store that as body fat. So the reason wine is such a problem is because it's the alcohol. And then your body's like, hey, we can't process sugar. We are just going to store this shit. We'll deal with it later. We got to get this poison, this toxin out of this person's system so they don't go into alcohol poisoning. We got to handle this first.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah. So one of the first ways to help reverse cellulite is you're already going to know the answer, but you first have to say, okay, how much wine do you drink? That's the very first question. Yes. How much booze do you drink? And then that's going to be the first cause. And then if they say, I don't drink booze, well, you'll find that they're consuming enough sugar on a daily basis. It's close to alcohol poisoning. So a ton of just eating sugar, it's going to lead to that excess amount of body fat,
And
which is cellulite.
excess carbs too, because people can be eating a lot of potato chips and white bread and shit like that. If they're like, no, I like more crunchy, savory things. All right, well, eat enough of that shit. It's all going to turn into sugar. Your body's going to break it down into sugar. It's just one step away from sugar.
Yeah.
So eat enough of that. Your body's going to turn it into sugar.
Yeah.
You're overeating it. Your body's going to store that shit.
Yeah. And so when you're looking at this on yourself or other people versus the way you can see he doesn't have a lot of that, most of the time guys don't eat a bunch of sugars, and most of the time women eat a ton. And so this is alcohol sugars mainly, and the secondary sugar would be, like I said, goes into the candy and the cookies and stuff, and third is going to go into all the crunchy bread.
And the other thing to what she just said, when you are working out hard and lifting heavy and working on developing your own muscle, it is the number one thing that keeps my blood sugar under control and makes me not crave sugar.
Yeah.
So I have a huge sweet tooth. This is why we have over 70 flavors of protein powder and why we have fucking protein cookies. So trust me, I have a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
And when I'm lifting heavy, it is the only thing that actually keeps my appetite in check.
Yeah.
It increases my appetite on one level, but it also keeps it in check and it keeps my cravings down.
Yeah.
So having more muscle helps your body actually process and metabolize all food, but especially sugars and things that would trigger your blood sugar and trigger your appetite more. So everything just stays in a nice, healthy, calm balance when you're working out and focusing on your muscles.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's really the thing about fat loss. So need some external heat. Definitely have to change that diet immediately, and you got to build the muscle to help break that body fat down. HIIT or traditional cardio, which one is best, is based on pretty much what is the goal here for the person. So you need to read about HIIT versus SIT, SIT, which is more intense than HIIT. That's pretty much what USA Track and Field is. You need to read about that so you get an understanding of that and know how to do both of those. All right, so let's see what this one is saying.
By the way, a lot of things are labeled as HIIT cardio and they're not.
Yeah.
So actually know what HIIT is.
Yeah.
A, so that you're not walking around ignorantly calling things HIIT when it's not.
Yeah.
And B, you're not buying into whatever Instagram or YouTube bullshit it says it's HIIT and it's not.
Yeah.
And also when your clients try to say, oh, I do HIIT cardio, you're like, really? Tell me about it. You don't necessarily need to call them out in the moment, but just listen to them and know if they're actually doing HIIT or not. 85% of the time they're not.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, okay, you're moving. That's more similar to an aerobics class. I hate to say it. Usually I don't say it, but you're doing an aerobics class. You're not doing HIIT.
So true. Okay, so fat burning zone. The thing to understand about fat burning is humans burn the majority of fat when they sleep at night. So the body, in order to not die while we're sleeping, the body just starts to go into fat burning, and that keeps us alive, keeps everything beating, keeps the digestive system working, and so forth. So if you notice when you're sleeping at night, that's a pretty relaxed state. Well, you burn predominantly sugar when you're in a very unrelaxed state, which would be what HIIT is. So something that's exceedingly intense, running at the track, doing HIIT, an actual HIIT workout, that is more of a calorie burning, very high calorie burning, but usually it's sugar and glucose. Fat is burnt usually after 20 minutes of consistent exercise. So when someone says, I need to burn more fat, when you see that someone has 130 pounds to lose, there's no such thing that you're going to drop this weight without doing long cardio.
Or when they say, I did 20 minutes on the treadmill, I'm like, great, you just got into the fat burning zone and then you got off the treadmill.
And then you got off.
That might be good for your heart, but that's not fat burning cardio.
Exactly. It's burning up glucose, which is sugar. And so the body stores about 20 minutes worth of glucose in the muscles and in the liver. And after about 20 minutes of activity, it burned it all up. Then at minute 21 to 25, it says, now we got to open up the fat cells and start using that for fuel. So people that need to drop excess amounts of weight need to do cardio for really 70 minutes. So 45 to 70 minutes. 70 minutes is a magic number. And they have to be able to talk. So the talk test is the best way to know. If they can't talk, they're going too hard. As long as they can talk, they're going at a good pace, then they actually are burning fat for fuel. So that is a big thing when it comes to that. When you are training an athlete or somebody for a sport, like you powerlifters, we don't want a bunch of cardio going on while we're actually making you gain muscle. I don't need that. We're not trying to do two things at once. We literally have to be careful while we're putting on muscle, not to burn too many calories.
Also,
we need those calories to repair.
When it comes to long cardio, think about the person and have empathy for, is this person overweight? And then also have empathy for people that are just more muscular. If you ask me to go jogging for 60 minutes, I'm going to say, fuck you and get a new trainer.
Exactly.
That's never going to happen.
Exactly.
My shins will kill you.
Yep.
My calves will kill you.
Mhm.
And I don't mean they'll kill me. I mean, I will literally want to come kill you for trying to make me do that for that long.
Mhm.
And nothing's going to feel good about it. I'm never going to do it ever again if I even do it once.
Mhm.
And that was not good exercise prescription on your part.
Yeah.
So I like doing the upright bike. I don't like the recumbent bike. It's good. Melinda likes the recumbent bike. I've done it. My ass falls asleep on it. I don't feel like I have good leverage. So basically when people say, what kind of cardio is the best cardio? Whatever kind you're actually going to do. So your body will tell you what agrees with you.
Yeah.
I don't like the elliptical. I've hyperextended my knees several times trying to do the elliptical. And for whatever reason, my toes fall asleep. So after trying the elliptical for years, because I read that it was the best thing in every fitness magazine on the planet, and it was a craze back then, I, after a couple of years, decided elliptical was not my thing. And I haven't done it for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So I do the upright bike, make sure I always find one with a good seat so my ass doesn't hurt. And that's what works. So whatever works for you, but my body type, I don't like impact. Also don't like the elliptical, even though that's non-impact. I don't like spinning. I don't like spinning bikes. Just give me a plain upright bike. Let me listen to music and people watch and leave me alone.
Yeah. So cardio is a very specific activity. It is mainly used for fat burning. That's its main use. If you are a cardio athlete, you do endurance activities, well, then obviously you have to do the SAID principle, which you train the exact way that you're going to do your competition. So that's the main thing for cardio. And as a coach, as a trainer, you will use cardio on a prescription level based on what the person has to do. If they got to drop weight to get on the bikini stage, there's a certain time to do cardio and a certain time not to. If they have 100 pounds to lose, a certain time the cardio is going to start. But just so you know, our rule of thumb, especially as we're pretty sensitive to clients, I never have people do everything all at once. I think that's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it's very stressful to change. If the body's used to being obese, it's very stressful to get overweight. If the body's used to being overweight, it's very stressful to get to a healthy weight. And the last thing you want to do is jump one thing after the next, all at once on that person's mind, on their emotions, and definitely on their physical body. One thing at a time.
Your body is looking for homeostasis, and it is going to be semi-resistant to any change, even if it's positive. So I had a client that she was about 70 pounds overweight. And she did this literally 3 times in a row before I was like, you have to stop. Mm-hmm. She gave herself pneumonia 3 times in a row because she would go from, she was single and trying to date in her 40s and stuff herself in Spanx. So she was like, oh my God, I have to get this weight off before I have to take the Spanx off. And he realizes I'm actually fat underneath. And I was like, okay, that's a whole other set of issues, but whatever. So she would try to change everything at once. So she was like, okay, I'm going to come work out with you 3 times a week.
Never.
And I'm going to quit eating McDonald's every day. And I'm going to get all chicken and frozen veggies. And then a week later, she was sick and then she had pneumonia. And this was early on when I first started as a trainer. So I didn't know, literally, this is the first time I saw this happen. She literally gave herself pneumonia 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, you're literally getting yourself sick with the stress of trying to change too many things at once.
Yeah.
And it's a real physiological experience. This is not just overwhelmed emotional stress. You can't handle life, blah, blah, blah. She was literally getting sick from it. I was like, okay, I know you want to change everything at once, but this is not working. You've been out 3 times with pneumonia. Let's take it down a notch. You are only going to start working out next week. We'll change your food one step at a time. Do you want to get pneumonia again? And that is the only thing that made her actually calm her shit down and stop and get results.
Yeah, exactly. So the body needs to, no matter how adamant the client is, you as the authority just need to just hold your ground and just say one thing at a time, usually every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, the body can handle a little bit more stress. And so first couple of weeks, all right, let's just start to actually weight train. And then now I'm going to look at your diet. All right. So after a couple of weeks, now the body's like, okay, let's get working on meal plan 1. And so I naturally just give people, I just trickle those kind of things into their plan on a natural basis. I'm watching them. You don't want to talk about too much too soon. It's very stressful. All I want you to do is show up twice a week for your workouts. And so once they accomplish that and they get that done, it builds confidence. And they come the second week, they accomplish 2 sessions and they didn't cancel, they get that done, it builds more confidence. That's how confidence is built. Very little baby steps, just like What About Bob? Very little baby steps to the goal. And then it's your position as the authority figure in their life to just constantly maintain a focus. This doesn't just revolve around you and the scale. There is 100 things that have to change for me to get you in nice, healthy shape. And this is just one of, and we got 99 more. We're not just going to look at that fucking scale only. And so that's big. That's what I love about that Arbo scale with all those different readouts on it. It's fantastic. All right, aerobic training methods. This is just all different ways that calories are burned. Again, these calories are burned based on how heavy the person is. So heavier the person is, more calories are going to burn. More muscle this person has, more calories are going to burn. But that's just kind of giving you an idea of all the different types of calories that can burn, hit, jump rope, all that kind of stuff. Very high calorie burning. But for the most part, the typical person can walk. They can't even row. Most people can't row at all. Yeah, that's very, very hard. So the typical person is going to walk, and that's about it. And not even a full hour when they first get started. Aerobic training guidelines start gradually, like we said. Don't overdo it. Do enough to produce an effect. But bottom line on cardio, you have to be able to talk. So with oxygen, aerobic means with oxygen. Anaerobic, without oxygen. I don't need you. I need you to be panting if we're actually doing plyometrics, if we're doing HIIT, if we're doing a boot camp, if we're doing even powerlifting. But for cardio, no panting. I need you to be able to actually breathe because that's with oxygen. Strength is the foundation of everyday acts of athleticism. It's not limited to muscle size or capacity of your muscle fibers. When you get stronger, you're better able to lose weight, run faster, and hit harder. So strength is a big part of being an athlete. Own the big 4. So the squat, deadlift, bench, and shoulder press are the best strength training exercises, period. So all 4 of those pretty much that makes up, when someone actually is good at lifting. Chin up, row are great moves, but they don't make them the focus of the workout unless that person is actually good at it. Rhonda, Tresden, for example, they are unbelievable on chin up. So I won't do them all the time, but I'll throw those in there because they actually are really, really good at them. So you want the person to build their confidence up, and usually whatever they're already good at, you want to keep doing what they're already good at, make them super strong there. I went to this one therapist. This is how Brittany and I met each other. She was a speech and hearing therapist, but she also worked on auditory processing. Anyway, she said, I'm going to use your strengths, which is your visuals, to build up all your weaknesses, which is your auditory processing, which is hearing and phonics and lectures and reading books and remembering names and phone numbers. And so she made me use visuals, my strength, to get all those weaknesses to come up. That's the exact same thing that you would do. You would see what this person's strong at, what they like doing and they feel confident doing, and those strengths will be the basis of their workout. And then you just put a couple of their little things they hate or that they're weak at, a little bit of those little things in there, but nothing to irk them though. And so that's kind of what we do with all of you. You don't even realize that's what we're doing to you. All right, we're almost there. 26, building strength to building blocks. I especially with powerlifting, you use barbells first. You need all the muscles to move a barbell.
Wait, hold on. Let's clarify that.
Okay.
With most clients, I don't let them use the barbell. When they get to a more advanced stage and they can actually control their body and balance and control dumbbells, I let them use dumbbells.
That is true.
If you have a beginner,
Yeah, no barbell.
you are mostly doing body weight exercises. When they can control their body, they get 8 or 10 pound dumbbells. Then we have to work on the balance and the control with those.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually we might get to barbells.
Yeah.
Some people, again, giving the client what they want, they never really want to touch a barbell. It's not something they're going to brag about.
Mm-hmm.
Some clients I never even go there with.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might be like once a month that we do some RDLs with the barbell.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, if you have somebody that's more athletic, then we can start at number 1.
Yeah, exactly. And she's right. It's like, most people can't even balance 2 dumbbells when they're doing chest press
Most
or
people
whatever.
can't balance their own body without falling over. So
Exactly.
let's begin at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Let's say like the lunge, for example, especially when you can see they can't balance on walking lunges, then no walking lunges. Stand in the doorway and do your lunge that way. Stand in the squat rack and hold on to something.
Yeah.
So you want to make them look confident and feel confident in every single exercise, not look like a jackass, fall over, hurt themselves, sprain their ankle. All that shit is not necessary. Just non-impact also means make sure that they're fully supported and they can do it. And then it builds their confidence and they actually start to like weight training.
And that's part
so
of
many trainers don't do that and they make the client hate working out.
And that's part of you controlling the form. So A, the client doesn't injure themselves.
Yeah.
B, they're actually working the right muscle groups and not putting excessive strain on things like their knees. And C, you don't look like a jackass trainer and you're not driving your client out of your ego thinking they should do these hard things where that's not what they're at.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So focusing on form, everybody's going to get ahead that way. Everybody's going to get stronger when they can control the form and the balance. Then we can go to the next level and it's just layering. You're just taking them to the next level one step at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it simple. Do not do complex moves until they are a proven athlete. As you athletes know, you are just now doing some complex moves. I wouldn't even let my my first time powerlifting athletes do power cleans. So power cleans is a very, very major complex move. So if I've invited you to do power cleans, you've proven that you actually have full athletic potential. Maintain a log, record an app to see progress. I, again, tell clients to use our app. That's where the progress will go. Don't overdo it. Short 30 to 60 minutes for lifting is more than enough when someone's brand new.
You actually should be getting the majority of your, because of the way the body uses energy, as we've been over and as you'll study more with exercise physiology, the deeper you go into it, the majority of your energy is going to happen between minute 0, and minute 40 to 45. So you'll notice if you have an hour-long workout that you're doing yourself, pay attention to your flow of energy. In the beginning, you're just getting warmed up, you're getting your energy flowing. And then after you get your body warmed up, whatever you're doing that requires really intense energy exertion, you want to get that accomplished in under 40 minutes. And then you will feel, even if you have an hour-long workout, you will feel your own energy, if you pay attention to it, kind of start to drop around minutes 40, 45.
Sure does.
And that's why when I have clients and we're doing an hour-long workout, the last 7 to 10 minutes are abs. And usually the last thing before we do abs, it's kind of like it's a burnout. It's some bean dog raises. It's something biceps, triceps. It's something that doesn't require a lot of energy because it's literally not there. Yeah. So again, this is respect the body, respect your literal energy sources. And when Todd was training me for powerlifting, he started out having one of my workouts be bench press and deadlift on the same day. And then when he came to the gym with me and the workouts were getting harder and heavier, I was like, I can't do both. We're at minute 90 and I have to start doing heavy bench press now. Can I split these up? And he was like, yeah. So again, this is not about feats of strength. You're not a 10-hour endurance competitor. Just stick to the basics.
Yeah. Exactly.
Respect nature.
Yeah, exactly. The body. Think 5 sets of exercises is best for gaining size and strength. So 5 sets of exercises. It doesn't have to all be 5 sets of bench. That's all stuff that has to do with the pecs. It doesn't have to be 5 sets of tricep push down. It's 5 sets for your triceps. So it's that muscle and at least 5 sets in order to gain size and strength. So 5 is the magic number on that. Add weight slowly, no more than 10 pounds per session. And that's typical. Usually takes about 2 weeks. 2 weeks for the muscles to say, we've healed everything. You started me out, let's say 135. You made me go up to 155. After a couple weeks now, 155 actually feels I can do it now. So 10 pounds per session, really for a couple weeks.
And that's really, again, when we're talking about powerlifting, for most of your basic clients starting out, you're going to start with them with 8 or 10 pound dumbbells, and they're going to stay there for a while.
Yeah. But the while for a lot of people, if they're really weak, it will be a while. If they're not, 10 can go to 12 can go to 15. Yeah. And in those 6 weeks, it's massive change.
Oh, yeah.
But
But I'm saying, don't think like their second session, you're like, okay, we did 10s last week, we're doing 15s or 20s now. No.
Yeah.
A couple weeks or a couple sessions.
Yeah. 2
and
weeks
then,
for sure.
Yeah.
2 weeks for sure before you make any kind of drastic move on a weight increase.
Yeah.
All you have to do that's going to make it hard is just add another set.
Exactly.
You don't have to change the weight at all. Add a set and they're like, oh my God, I'm dead. Take to the hills, cardio and short bursts to get stronger and leaner at the same time. Again, that's a little bit more advanced person. Balance your strength training. What you do on one side, you do on the other. That's really big, and why Todd was big on all the non-impact workouts that he created using dumbbells, because all of us are dominant. If you're right-handed, you're typically right side dominant. And so in order to get that other side balanced out, you've got to use it with a dumbbell. Barbells, you will still keep dominating with your strong side. So dumbbells help you get the client and yourself that weak side stronger. And number 9, last one on this, was do it right. Never practice poor form yourself or permit your clients to. How many times we've watched trainers at the gym just let their clients do a shitty lunge or a shitty squat, and they're just going to injure themselves. Again, when a client's doing bad form, put them up against the wall, get their hand on the wall, get them in a doorway, get them holding on to something, and get that form straightened out.
Take them over to like our squat rack, for example, and when the bar is at bench press height, I have people use it as a ballet bar. And I say, we are doing a lunge holding onto your ballet bar.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, and so many trainers at the gym, they won't do it. They won't do it.
Yeah.
And so they just make it that much harder on the client. They humiliate the client in front of other people, and then they lose the client. So it's their own stupidity and arrogance.
Yeah, and they're not getting them results. If you don't have the right form, you're not working the right muscles. You're most likely working the wrong muscles, putting too much strain on your joints, and you're headed for an injury.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So this is a very important part to understand about home fitness equipment. Basic setup. So we are very big into keeping it basic and cheap and low cost, because number one, most people can't do anything. They're so weak. They can't do anything. So the basic stuff is actually all they can do. So 1 set of dumbbells, a jump rope, a mat, a step, and a band, open-ended, and then the fabric round band, like the booty band. I have some bands here that don't have that. I don't know what that rubber is on the inside. I hate them. There's only 1 set of bands I like, and that's on Amazon, those first booty bands you bought. Anyway, with the fabric band is for your booty that has that clear
traction.
On the inside.
They have that traction.
It stops that damn band from moving up your leg. So that is critical. Band open on each end, just those straight ones or the handle ones. A step, all this stuff is on Amazon. They can get it anywhere. Step 2. So after they have a basic setup, they say, what else can I buy for my gym? Because they're going to ask you, well, this is important. You can get some kettlebells if you want to get a bench press with a 110-pound weight set. 2 to 5 sets of more dumbbells because they are getting too strong for their 15s or 10s. All items from the basic setup are obviously already there. Setup number 3, they say, I need to get more equipment. What should I get now? Add 1 piece of cardio equipment and set up 2 equipment such as like a stationary bike and treadmill, because most people will get bored. You're like, I'm bored on my treadmill. Well, then get an elliptical or a spinning bike or a stationary bike to put beside there. And then set up number 4 is a multi-unit home gym, plus the equipment in setup number 2. So this machine right here in the back of it, that's a multi-unit right there. So the multi-unit and the bench press, those are your 2 big ones, because this multi-unit does so much. There's so many different things. So this home gym is ideal. It's got everything, got your little bouncy ball right there. You got all the stuff that you need, and that a client would need. So when they're asking you, keep it really basic, stuff that doesn't cost a lot of money. You have to see how much investment will they do. And so when they just start to invest on just those real basic things, even to do a boot camp, I'm like, get a step, get a pair of dumbbells, get something for your knees, get like a mat, and that's it. If you want to get your booty band and your other band, great, have those too. And then it lets me see how serious the person is, if they actually will invest in just those basic things. So know that right there. That is proof of if they actually really want to invest in it. All right, the recipe for the week this week is sausage, asparagus, rice, cauliflower recipe. So really, really good. Tastes great. So again, about the recipes, we definitely like you guys trying out the recipes. If you make it and it looks pretty, take pictures of it, post it, make sure you tag Amp Up, because this just, again, causes more people to pay attention to what you're doing and so forth. So that's a big thing. Something else I needed to go over with these people. I'll be adding the next meal plan on the app as well. So you are going to be working over the next 10 days. You're going to be working on the next meal plan that you have to test. And I don't know what number that is until I get on there and see the last one I gave you, unless I already did give it to you. I can't remember. I have to see the date of it, because I want you doing the meal plans about once every 10 days. I want you switching up the meal plan so you feel them. And then you've got the big 5 exercises that you need to start working on. Exercises on your own on the app. That workout will be on there. So some of you that are, if you're in powerlifting, if you're in training, whatever, and we post these exercises and you're also a fit coach, you're doing these too. So don't send me a message. Do you want me to cancel this out with no, not at all. I don't want anything. I don't want shit canceled. You do whatever, you're already on there. You do your workouts here, and you got to do the 5 big exercises. So you can always incorporate the whole thing together anyway. But 5 big exercises just for your learning. So it's about you. Oh, okay. Oh man, I feel my back. Ooh, I feel my pec. So like I had a client today, he's going to be on the powerlifting team. He's a big boy. And he said, I need to ask you a question. And he said, I'm doing my 4 workouts a week now. And I got this feeling going on. I said, oh yeah? He said, yeah, it won't go away now. I said, oh, really? I knew what it was, but I wanted him to explain it and get his words out. He goes like, all the time, there's a feeling in there that I'm strong. All the time in here, there's a feeling that I'm strong. All the time in here, there's a feeling that I'm strong. I'm like, that's called being pumped up. He didn't know how to say it.
He's swole.
He's swole. He's swole.
Okay, so that's how a dude is like, there's this feeling I'm strong. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
You have to warn women about that, because it's like,
what's this feeling?
What's this feeling that I don't fit in my jeans and I'm bloated? So he'll say, I feel strong every day. Women will say, I feel bloated every day.
Thick and bloated.
My thighs feel bloated.
And
my scale weight's up.
And they're not.
It is up. It's called water weight because you're swole. Dudes think it's awesome. Girls don't think it's awesome.
But even though you're swole and you're healing, it makes you way stronger. Yeah. You can perform way higher.
And it's literally just water weight. The water weight will go down in a second. Yeah. It's fine.
Exactly. And it doesn't stay forever. But as long as you keep lifting, that swole feeling, that pumped feeling stays in the muscles. And that's the pump feeling we need for you to perform at your highest. So as you keep getting closer and closer to showtime, your workouts will go from what they are now, about 3 or 4 times a week, 4 or 5 times a week, to 7 days a week. You'll have no days off when we're 4 weeks out from showtime, because we need to definitely keep that pump in your muscles for you to perform at your highest. Okay, if anybody has any questions, please message us right now so I can answer them right now. We are done with the stop the share. Okay, so we are done with lesson number 5.